Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Brandon. Welcome to Audio Addiction, where you can find latest album reviews, you can find our band interviews, and you can find live coverage of the concerts that we get. I will be continuing to post the Get Free Tour Tonight Alive and Silverstein's sets will be going up respectively on Sunday and on Monday or Tuesday, depending upon when you guys want those out. Also, I have the whole Idola tour that will be going out very soon as well. Idola, whatever. But those will be going out as well. Also updated our merch store, so if you want to pick up some new stuff, links are in the description where you can go pick up some new merch. And thank you guys to who purchased new merch. I appreciate it. And hopefully you guys like it as well. And if you enjoyed any of this content coming up, please subscribe. Please hit that thumbs up. Also check out our interview with Broadside, one of my favorites from this year so far. But without further ado, tonight we're going to be talking about Savage Hand's new record, Barely Alive. So this band is pretty new. They signed with Sharptone Records as of last year, I believe, and this is their debut record on the label. And I think Sharptone is definitely the up-and-coming label. They have some really amazing bands on here. John Broco just released a fantastic record, Technology, if you haven't checked that out. They've released really awesome records in the past. Polaris' Mortal Coil, Weak Him as Romans, Cold War, just a ton of others that I can't think of off the top of my head, but just a really great lineup of bands. So if you haven't checked out that label, don't be sleeping on them. They really got some awesome stuff in the works or coming out very soon. Really great record label. But getting back to this band, Savage Hands, like I mentioned, they released this debut record, Barely Alive, and this band definitely got me, along with the first single, Red. Unconditional was released on the, when the album was released, but this really got me because I saw Andrew from Life on Repeat post about it, and Life on Repeat is one of my favorite bands, and to kind of see how he influenced this band is really cool. And I wanted to get these guys out there to kind of spotlight this band because I don't think anybody else did a review of this record. So fingers crossed that you guys check this out. Definitely check out this band if you haven't already. They kind of are bringing back that sort of rock, like alternative rock sort of vibe back to the scene. So I'm really excited to go through each track, give you my thoughts and opinions on all of them, go through some pros and cons on the record, and then finish it out with an overall rating. So the first track on the record is Red, like I mentioned, and that intro riff is super punchy, probably one of my favorite riffs off the record. It just really represents like that alternative rock sort of vibe. And it also bears a lot of resemblance, both vocally and instrumentally, to Life on Repeat. Obviously, Andrew have recorded this band and had a lot of influence on this band. I think that it definitely shows a lot in this song and a lot of the songs off this entire record, which is really nice and refreshing to hear. I also love the balance between screams, yells, and cleans. There's a lot of diversity in terms of vocals throughout the song and throughout the album as well. And I like that the one vocalist does all of that. I think that that is a complete thing to not think, not remiss at all. I think that it's really cool. And I love just the different types of screams. It's not very like heavy. It's just kind of like, the same thing that sort of Patrick did in Life on Repeat. And the cleans definitely have their own sort of vibe to them, which I really enjoy. I think there's one song in particular that I feel like highlights the vocalist the best. But this one is really good as well. There's this awesome breakdown at the 2 minutes and 30-second mark, and it goes to the 2 minutes and 50-second mark. But I think this track is a great opener. It's one of my favorites off the record, and it definitely brings a lot of energy and just those awesome sort of rock vibes to this record so far. So we're going to move into track number 2, the title track, Barely Alive. This one is just a continuation of that sort of great energy, great heaviness, kind of that rock, alternative rock vibe. I like that the bass kind of takes the lead role in the verses of this song. I think it's completely understated, and bass gets understated a lot in a lot of records. So for me, it's cool to kind of have those moments where you can hear, each individual instrument separately, and they kind of come together in a cohesive manner. So that's always cool to pick out and just kind of dissect a little bit. And I also like that the verses have more of a melodic quality to them, while the choruses have more of that sort of rock in your face sort of vibe to it as well. There's this really awesome usage of electronics in the bridge, and there's this leads into this awesome breakdown at the 2 minutes and 50 second mark to about the 3 minutes and 20 second mark. And definitely one of my favorites as well off the record. Again, continuing with that sort of high energy rock vibes. I think that this one will definitely get you guys going as well. So we're gonna move into track number 3, which is Unconditional. They released a music video for this one on Friday, but this one has some great bounce to it. It probably has some of my favorite vocal melodies off the entire record, and especially in this track. The chorus feels like the focal point of the track as well, and it just has more of that sort of life on repeat vibe to it. There's a little bit of Plot in You. There's a little bit of Bare Tooth in there. I would say more Plot in You in terms of like their more recent records, like Happiness and Self Destruction, and like and Dispose. I feel like those two definitely have that sort of vibe to them. There's this awesome guitar solo, which I was not kind of surprised about at the 2 minutes and 30 second mark to the 2 minutes and 40 second mark. And then there's another really great breakdown to kind of end out the rest of this song. And the ending absolutely kind of goes in, again, solidifying that sort of heaviness. I wouldn't say it's one of the heavier track. I would say it's one of the heavier tracks off the record. I wouldn't say it's the heaviest, but I would definitely put it up there in terms of heavy music. So we're gonna move into track number 4, which is Know It All. This one has this awesome sort of calm response in terms of the vocals. I'd love to see how that pans out live. Obviously, there's one vocalist, so I would assume that maybe one of the guitarists will take up the role, or they'll have a backtrack. That would be really interesting. This chorus is super catchy, probably one of my favorite choruses off the entire record. And this one gives me a strong sort of bare tooth vibe to it. Again, life on repeat as well, but I think that's fairly obvious at this point. But this one definitely gives me that sort of bare tooth vibe to it. It has that sort of hard rock mentality to it. I definitely say that this is one of the heavier tracks, probably if not the heaviest track off the entire record. It's aggressive, it's in your face, and some of my favorite parts of this song in particular is the 2 minutes and 25 second mark to the around the 3 minute mark. Has some of my favorite guitar riffs along with Red. I think Red, that intro riff is great, but I would say this one primarily has all of the best riffs in my opinion off the record, and it's just a kind of heavy hitter track that I was not really expecting, because I felt like they're going to kind of keep in that rock genre and obviously include screams, but this one was an unexpected thing, but I really enjoyed it. So we're going to move into track number 5, which is Taken. Liking the change of pace of this one. This one's lighter. Obviously kind of breaks up the record a little bit. It's mainly kind of acoustic and like just vocals. I like that it, again, highlights the vocalist cleans and just his overall skills, abilities, and sort of range that he's able to go through. And I think he's got a really awesome range. He's got some great falsettos, which you kind of hear at the end of the track. And I love his cleans. I think that they definitely, obviously, he does some like yells and sort of obviously screams. But I think his cleans really clean up nicely, no pun intended. And they just sound really nice. I would love to hear kind of more of a heavier track with just like maybe like more pristine cleans. That would be kind of crazy, and I think it would work super well with what they're going for. Again, great instrumentals. I think that the acoustics kind of again show a different light to this band, and it was something that I was taken back by because it wasn't something that I was expecting necessarily. And every time I come back to this song on the record, I think that it's a really well executed song, but it was just kind of surprising at first, and now after listening to it multiple times, I feel like I know this song's coming up next. And I also like the sort of ethereal elements that they have. It feels very like open, very spacious, and it's just got this really great vibe to it. So I really enjoyed Taken a lot. So we're gonna move it into track number 6, which is Dream Dead. This one takes more of a melodic approach as opposed to being just heavy, which is an interesting move. Obviously, I like kind of the counterbalance between the two in a song. But I like that this one kind of takes that melodic approach again. This one has more of an electronic sort of backdrop to it as opposed to just being certain parts where it just has electronics. I feel like it's throughout the track where you kind of weave in and out, and there's some parts where electronics kind of become more of a main focal point, and then in certain parts kind of takes a back seat. I felt like this one was the most lackluster of all the tracks. There wasn't really anything that grabbed me. There wasn't anything that really like caught my attention. There wasn't that sort of hook or like some memorable moments that would have got me into this track. I think it is a solid track instrumentally. I think it's a solid track vocally, but there just wasn't something that got me, especially considering leading off with the kind of the first four tracks of the record, being so like up there in terms of great quality stuff. I felt like this one was kind of a mishap a little bit, and it just wasn't one that grabbed me as much as the other ones did. So we're gonna move into track number 7, the last one, Your Own Hell. The vocals were really diverse. I think they kind of took a page out of song number 5, Taken, where there's a lot of vocal diversity and vocal range and vocal prowess in this track. The chorus definitely is a great highlight to this track. It's probably one of my favorites, and it just builds and kind of builds off the chorus and just the whole song in general. The elements, it has elements of pretty much this entire record. In some regard, there are some electronic bits. There's some heavier bits. There's some more melodic bits. So I feel like it covers all the bases in this track, and I just felt like this one also didn't have things that separated it from other things. I think it's much better than Dream Dead. However, I think it's kind of in that like gray area of like I like this track, but I don't. It's kind of missing elements that would have made it that much better. So for me, that's what separates it from being kind of a top tier track. It's very straightforward, but otherwise, I think it was a great sort of closer track, and obviously it hints a lot of songs, throughout that kind of, preceded it. So, some pros and cons on this record. Vocally, it's very diverse. There's some screams, there's some cleans, there's some heavy, there's some soft songs. Instrumentally, very much the same thing. There's some heavy tracks, there's some lighter tracks, there's some more rock based tracks. And I also feel like, in my opinion, there's a good mix of memorable tracks. There's a good mix of tracks that really kind of didn't grab me as much, and I feel like that comes with the territory. You're not gonna have an album where you like every song unless you're Don Broco and you release a fantastic record. But I think for this band, kind of starting out and not hearing about them and kind of being a fresh band, I know I've heard things about them being another band prior to this, and they changed their name and things of that nature, and kind of maybe sound as well. But I think for me, just listening to this band, never hearing of them before, just kind of finding out about them at random, I think that they put out a really great record, a record that they should definitely be proud of. And it's diverse. It's definitely bringing that back, that sort of rock resurgence that I've been craving for a while. Life on Repeat. If you're watching this, I'd love for you to come back. I know it's a very long shot, but I mean, I would probably have a heart attack if that ever happened. And I just love to see more bands like this. I think that they are doing a really good thing. They are doing a unique thing, and obviously, there's a lot of people that like it, and there might not be people that like it. And there might be new people that haven't even heard of this stuff. So I'm hoping that the people that haven't heard of it and are open minded will go give this album a listen. Again, I think it's for fans of Life on Repeat, Beartooth, and I probably throw in kind of maybe like the Plot and You newer stuff. I feel like that kind of takes the vibe of this record. And if you haven't listened to Red or Unconditional, I would highly recommend listening to those tracks. I feel like they kind of represent the album in a really great way. So my overall rating for Savage Hands, Barely Alive, I'm going to be giving it a 9.3 out of 10. I think it's a band that is an up-and-coming band. I'm excited to see what they do in the future. I'm hoping that the songs come out, a little bit more contained and a little bit more thought out. I think that the first 4 to 5 tracks are absolute bangers, and I feel like the last 2 were kind of eh. I would definitely say Dream Dead is kind of on the lowest on a totem pole, but I think that them being kind of experimental and trying to do different things on towards the end of the record, I think was a little bit of a mistake. I would have maybe liked to have it split up a little bit more. I think it would have been better, but overall, can't complain. I think it's a great record, and I think it's one that you should definitely go listen to, go stream on Spotify, go pick it up. I will be picking it up, and I'd love to see where this band goes into the future. So let me know in the comments what your thoughts are on this record. Have you heard of this band before? Have you not? please go check out this record, and let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this review, please subscribe. Please hit that thumbs up. If you enjoyed it a lot, please share. And then also, if you'd like as well, check our link in the description to our merch store. Awesome new designs, and we hope that you like that, or I hope that you like them a lot. And again, tons of awesome stuff coming out in the March month, and I'm excited to bring those to you very soon. So my name is Brandon. We hope you got your fix, and we'll be talking with you soon. Hey guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Of course, if you enjoy what we do, make sure to go check out the other series we do. We do album reviews, we do band interviews, and we do live videos, so definitely go check that out. Hit that subscribe button. It really helps our channel, helps us grow. Make sure to hit that like button as well. Go follow us on social media. That's all down below. We try to keep that as updated as possible. We also made a new website where we'll be posting photos of upcoming concerts and stuff like that, which you can go check out at audioaddictionmedia.com, and come get your fix with us, guys. Talk to you later. Deuces.